You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV for OWN, the Oprah Recap Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's OWN, the Oprah Recap Show.
What is going on, America? Yes. And cut. I feel like I have to do that often. And cut. There we go. I appreciate you, Ronnie. And as you heard with the amazing claps, we have my DJ Ronnie in the house. DJ Ronnie, what's going on, bro? Had to go ahead and bring you in from that one. There you go.
Not really brother. A DJ, but just Ronnie. There we go.
We got engineer Ronnie in the house.
just a guy running the board.
Just a guy running the board. We got Ronnie here.
Making
everybody.
my best life possible through OWN.
Yes.
Hey, Ronnie. Okay. All right. Look. don't be adding to the show, brother. No, I'm joking. No, you're good. And we also have my co-host, amazing co-host. We have Miss Shereen in the house. What's going on, Shereen?
Doing good.
Well, you've been gone for a little bit. Now you're back in the jump off.
I missed you.
Gone for a minute. I missed you too, but you went and got us some information. And everybody, B. Winston will not be on the lines. He's going out to get some information. Also, NAACP Awards is going on down there, if I'm not mistaken. Nice. So he's out there handling some biennials. Not awards, but basketball. I say the basketball tournament.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. I hope I said that right.
Boy stuff. I'll just go with
basketball. So it works out. But everybody, we have a very interesting show. We are definitely here, and Bing is for doing. And we have another after show for OWN, the Oprah Recaps. And here it's all about living our best life. It's all about you. It's all about giving you information that's going to take you to the next level, because what me and Miss Winfrey and what we're all doing here was going to get in that information, and we want to call it the shovel effect. We go get it and we shovel it to you and make sure that you can get it and do something with it and be productive with this information. So we want to bring into you the words of the day. Of course, we have the words of the week. But for this show, we're going to be doing things that's going to be special, that's going to break us in. We're going to be introducing to you our audio book club. And this is going to be important to us. And we're going to talk a little bit more and give homage to Miss Winfrey for the book club, and bringing so much literacy and the importance of reading to homes in America and around the world. And so we just want to be able to extend that with this life and busy lives of people being on the go all the time. It's easier to put things in their ear to listen to that book, and plus the authors coming in versus necessarily always picking up the book necessarily and reading it in this fast-paced society. So we definitely want to introduce the audio book club and one of our titles. But before we get into that, we're going to take you into Miss Shereen for the words of the week.
Let's do it. You guys ready?
All right. And so we got the words of the week coming. Faith comes by hearing, everyone. Remember, faith comes by hearing. Back at you, Miss Shereen.
So hear this, okay? All right, so it says, it is really up to you. When you take responsibility for your life and your actions, you cease being a victim. When you cease being a victim, you no longer look for anything or anyone to blame for your failures.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, when you cease being a victim, you no longer have failures.
That's right.
Your perception clears, and events that do not work out as you had planned are seen as stepping stones or rungs in your ladder to success. Your time and energy are focused on solutions and answers, and you clearly understand that if it is up to be, if it's up to be, if it is to be, it's up to me. There you go.
That's right.
So life is a process, and taking responsibility helps us see that we are the performer, director, producer, and writer in that process. Juicy.
Big. Yes.
Juicy.
Yes. So it really is up to us to finally take control. Like they said, you can lead a horse to water, but that doesn't mean to drink. And you got to remember, people, what you're taking in your eyes and your ears, for those that can take it in through their eyes and their ears and actually receive it, that's how a lot of your faith comes. That's what you digest. That's what you ponder on and you meditate on, what you're bringing into you. And so usually we produce those things, because the one thing that a seed will do was it will produce a harvest, because that's what it's supposed to do. It is created to produce a harvest. So So just like your car is created to move when you tell it, you know, if it's doing right. So if it's a productive seed. So really quick, we want to introduce to you the Audiobook Club. And this is our first show that we want to bring it in. And this is the first Sunday of the month. And we want to introduce you to the Audiobook Club because I'm a firm believer that faith comes by hearing. And we know that because if you go around the wrong environments and you're listening to certain things, sometimes you can start building that faith, whether it's good or bad, in that thing that you've given your attention to. And so we want to make sure that I personally want to make sure that what I put out there and what has helped me in the past was having these pioneers that maybe, you know, everyone's looking for a mentor. Everybody's looking for someone to help them to the next level. And sometimes we can't bump into the Tony Robbins and the Oprahs and you know, into the Eckhart Tolles and things of that nature, but we can pick up their audiobooks, you know, and listen to them read because most of the authors read them to you.
Right.
And you're able to get that person and you can pause them when you want to, fast forward, stop, play, write it down, make them say it over and over again 100 times until you get it, until you can speak it exactly like them. And that's what I love so much about it. And you can take it on the go with you. You can take it in the gym with you. You can sleep to it. I like to look at the audiobooks as like bedtime stories with the right one because they're basically like the Esther Hicks. I just got a great book in the Vertex with Esther and Jerry Hicks. And, you know, their voices, it's almost like a lullaby singing, you know, reading it to you as you go to bed. Everybody remember bedtime stories, you know? So, you know.
These are like adult bedtime stories.
These are more like, you know, but it's just wisdom. And I don't necessarily know that they have to be adult because, I mean, self-help is, you know, anything that's going to build your character. And we understood in the show before that your character is broken down to characteristics, your traits and your features. And we strengthen our traits and our features by the information that we take into us. So the book of the month, everybody, that we want to display to you, everyone, is for this month, our first book of the month that we're introducing. And I like to start off on top. And Miss Winfrey had this man on her show, on her master classes, or not master classes, Oprah's next chapter is Tony Robbins' Unlimited Power. Tony Robbins' Unlimited Power is our first book of the month.
And that's really starting out on
book
top
of the month.
I mean, he is like the top of the top of the top.
Yes. And it was calling me. It was calling my name to do this and to be a part of this. And I just want to say to Miss Winfrey, thank you for being such a pioneer and instilling, you know, that into me. You know, my personal story with reading you know, I've always been educated, but I wasn't the best reader growing up. If you were to ask me to read out loud, I would stutter over simple words. I knew them, but if you were to say, hey, Brookshire, read the next paragraph, I'd be like, oh. I start sweating and being like, could you, oh Jesus. So, you know, I just say that. And so for me, you know, at the age of around 20, you know, of course I made it through college and high school. I made it through, but at the age of 20, I decided my own personal self that I'm going to learn how to read effectively. And I got on the phone. I remember it's the book The Giver at the time. I was reading the book The Giver, and I got on the phone and I got with my best friend and I read every day, whether I stuttered or if I didn't get it right, until I learned how to read fluently and understood. Because I said, if I'm going to be an actor or a model, any of these things, and I get a script, anything comes my way, I need to be able to read it and comprehend it, and not just be reading words that have no comprehension to it. And so for me, that was a big thing in instilling in me that literacy. And then once I got a hold of audiobooks where I can sit in the tub and relax, my pages ain't have to get wet, you know, you had to drop food all on it and, you know, and grease and chicken stains and all this stuff. And I can just sit and listen and meditate on these words and get this information. Almost go to like a seminar or a class that you can just sit and take. I was like, whoa. Now their words were molded in my head. I didn't have to picture anything and how they sound. I could hear them talking directly to me. When Tony Robbins is in this book, Unlimited Power, everybody, he is talking to you. He is telling you his experience. It's a communication seminar book, and he is telling you the experience on how to, you know, to grow and how to become truly successful. Unlimited power, how for you to be able to take hold of your own power. And so really quick, we're just gonna give you a brief couple excerpts in the book that he discussed, because you are going to go out, everybody, and get the book by Tony Robbins, Unlimited Power. We are going to be talking about this towards the end of the month. And as you know, on the previous show, on the YNR Soap Special Edition, we have Miss Crystalline Lloyd from The Bold and the Beautiful. She also has the book, and we'll be reading the book along with us as well. So stay tuned. She will be coming back on the end of the month to discuss what the book did for her, and we'll go a little bit more in depth. So what I want to do is take it into just a topic of NLP, because we also know that neuro-linguistic programming, you have been certified recently. Oprah was certified recently, but you have been getting some more information on that. And in this book, Tony Robbins discusses in Unlimited Power the importance of, NLP, the science of language and how it affects the nervous system and how it, with the words that we choose to use in our lives or lack thereof could be hindering us from being all we can be.
Yeah.
So I want to throw this out to you and get your experience too on NLP and just kind of to refresh the audience from your experience.
Let me refresh, honey. Oh man, every time I talk about NLP or even think about NLP, I'm like I'm just like, where do I even start? There's so much, but I am still in my process of getting certified, and I did just finished my second weekend last weekend. So I'm so sorry I wasn't here. I missed you.
Yes,
I was terrible with that. But yeah, last weekend was really good. I learned to do some really juicy things.
Okay, wow.
But one poignant thing that kind of like ties into what we're talking about here with Tony Robbins, Unlimited Power, and the words that you use and how they can affect you, is the speaker, Kaya, who actually will be on next week with us, which is exciting.
Kaya will be in the studio for an interview next week. That's awesome.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
He's a wonderful speaker. He's very, very captivating and interesting man. It's going to be,
excited to pick his brain.
Right?
But Kaya, the speaker.
Okay, so he's up there and he's talking about it, and he's like, talking about NLP, and he kept saying, it's a healing. And I'm like, I just had this reaction to it because, we've talked about, whenever we get into things that are, sort of religious, I just have a natural, reflex where I'm like, well, it's almost like I don't like to go there. I like to stay on the science realm a little more. It just makes me feel comfortable. I don't know why, whatever. So he starts saying that NLP is healing. And so I'm like, really, teacher? Let's talk about that, So I'm like, well, can you explain how it's healing? I was like, maybe in my mind I can comprehend that, but for some reason I just had this negative reaction. I feel like, is this like Pastor Kaya or like Dr. Kaya? What's happening here?
Right.
So he basically is like, okay, no, that's fine. He's like, and he was kind of explaining this Shereen, me, basically has a frame of the word healing. And for whatever reason, the way this word is in her internal representation system, which is the way we take in information. Right. It just doesn't make sense to her. So I'm going to try and give her a new frame. So basically he starts to talk about his dad, how his dad had cancer for the last 5 years of his life. Had cancer, it flared up, and then he got healed and went into remission, and then it flared up again, and then he passed. Oh, wow. So Kaya was talking to the doctor and saying, oh yeah, my dad's had cancer for the last 5 years. And the doctor was like, it was prostate cancer, the best prostate cancer doctor in the world. Okay. What? So he is the epitome of all prostate cancer doctors. And he looked at Kaya and was like, he's had cancer for 25 years. Oh, wow. It's not just been 5 years. So the point Kaya was trying to make was that the words that we use
was cancerous
affect the way we think and the way we feel, which affects the cells in our body. Right. And they've actually done studies. I learned this in college. They've done studies that link holding grudges and a lack of forgiveness to cancer.
Wow, you're right.
Right? And then Kaya was saying that they've actually now linked anger to cancer. Yep. And he was just basically saying that his dad had a lot of anger, that he was just that guy that thought he had to crank it out and just work and provide, but that he was just a real, he had a lot of internal anger. Right. So essentially the point he was trying to make is that it is a healing because when you change the way you think and when you change the words that you're using and how you feel, you are literally affecting the cells in your body.
That's true.
For the better or for worse.
That is a good point.
So juicy. It is. I was like, it is. I could totally, after he explained that, I was like, I can see how that would completely heal somebody.
That is a good point because that's one reason why, exercise. And I look at the word, in the process of completing my first book, one of my books called The 6 Aspects of Being Totally Fit and Free. And so many people look at, the whole aspect, the mind of being just totally fit as in just your body, just your health and fitness. And it's so much more than that because, you want to be in the gym releasing these toxins and the stress and things of that nature that it gives it a place to release it, but you also want to control your thought process and have forgiveness, and forgiveness is such a big thing because when you don't, it allows you to hold that in, that bitterness in, and your body becomes more acidic, and once your body becomes more acidic, it has more toxins. And if you, now you add stress to that anger, and now you add your body's now at a dis-ease, and when your body's at a dis-ease, then it leaves room for disease to be able to enter into your body. It kind of flows within the same thing. So it is important. Thoughts are things, where the mind goes, the body does follow. And so many, and I say that all the time.
He does, really.
because it is so true that if you allow pollution to come in, and it will come from every angle that it can come from people, and it will come at the times that you don't expect it, you don't need to realize it, or not even deal with it, you can't handle it, you don't need have any room for it, it will come, and you still, even then, you have to know how to continue to move forward with the right thought process, because if you allow that experience that's in front of you to allow you to build anger or more anger, then now you're planting new seeds. And again, we said a seed will do what? It will produce a harvest.
Exactly.
And that is where that subconscious thing comes into place, is that
true.
This anger is being built in the subconscious mind, and it may be pushed back, but yet all it takes is for an incident to come and it highlights it, and you realize that, oh, it ain't been pushed back too far. And so we really want to make sure that, you know, our words or our language will help us to go back and take those old things out and reprogram, you know, what we can do. And the one thing that, you know, he was talking about, you know, the creators of this particular program, which was Richard Brandler and Dr. Grander, you know, and their whole point was being able to create, they studied the patterns of what made people successful and versus what made people unsuccessful. And it goes to our next point, which is personal power. And that's the thing that he got. He was just like, you know, he put to the point to where he realized that, you know, the one thing that he knew differently was that the people that had more usually knew something that maybe others didn't. And it wasn't just that, because then he realized that there's a lot of people that know things that others didn't, but then they're not applying that knowledge. And so he realized that it gave him to this point of personal power, which is, you know, personal power is the whole point of the ability to be able to apply action to whatever it is. The person that can produce the most action, you know, is the person that actually reaches to the next goal, in his opinion. And he utilized, you know, 2 steps that I'm going to break down right now towards personal power. And the first one that he threw in was energy in your personal power. If you're wanting to obtain any goal and reach out to any particular form or state, you need to have the energy in your physical body to be able to obtain whatever it is, whatever vision comes. It doesn't take a lot of ideas to be successful. All it takes is one great one that you're willing to hold on to. It doesn't even have to be that great to everybody else in the beginning, but it has to be one that you believe in and hold on to. And you have to have the energy to be able to do that. And so back to what you were saying, holding grudges and anger and unforgiveness, or not taking care of your body or eating right, are the things that will allow you to be lethargic, and things of that nature will allow your momentum to not go into place. Because when it's time to go in and mail off these 100 envelopes, or to do the things that will take you to the next level, you tired. Your feelings don't feel like moving you. So now, and you haven't programmed yourself with the word selection to know how to overcome when your body maybe feels a certain way. And so, you know, energy is an important thing to be able to keep us moving. The second thing that he had on there to, you know, really taking control of your personal power is your skill, because energy is just not enough. You got to have a skill that you're going to be able to put out there to do something with. And now, in the skill that he mentioned on this, and this is a brief excerpt, a skill that he mentioned is he broke down skills into 2 different levels. When you're looking at skills, you want to be able to define, and this is a very key point, if somebody ever comes up to you and says, well, what is it that you want to do? You need to be able to define what it is that you want to do or you're able to do. And we look at that again, and I go back to the characteristics or the character aspects. And I always say talent is like table salt, but character is that meat that you'll be able to sprinkle that salt on and be able to get something out of it. And I look at this and says, what is it that you are able to do? Can you articulate your vision? And that's very important, you know, and that's a skill. Can you articulate what you're able to do? And the second thing is, can you identify what others' needs are, and are you able to help answer their needs effectively? You know, and that's very important, because once you identify who you are and able to articulate who you are, and like I said in the character aspect a couple shows ago, now you're able to take ownership. And now when that ownership comes in, because you know who you are, you're able to now brand that. And now once you're able to know who you are, you're able to brand that by saying, now I know what you need, because I know what I got, and I know you don't got what I got. Now I can come in and give you what I got. And now we all benefit. And when we are able to look at life inside of those particular things, we're able to take power and control over it, because we realize I have something. I have something that's missing. For instance, we'll use AfterBuzz as a situation. Maria built this location for hosts to be here. The thing that was missing was the host. So
here we are.
So once it was built, they will come. Once it was built, we came, and we were able to have that vision to continue to grow and grow. And you know, the ones that were able to fulfill that vision swiftly, smoothly, and quietly, and not even quietly, but the right way, are still here making a difference and actually creating change. And big shout outs to Maria Maria on Dancing with the Stars this year. We gotta definitely make sure that we stay tuned. That is so amazing. And we definitely saw Maria at the Oscars gifting suite, and we already talked to her. She will be in the house for an interview very soon. And definitely she already agreed. So we holding you to it, Miss Manunel. Okay. So we getting you on up in here. But yes, she will be on Dancing with the Stars this year. And so I'm so excited. And that's a big, big, big plug for AfterBuzz TV, because where she goes, we go. And so we're going to be coming into some amazing things coming soon. So definitely understand how to fill a void. Obviously, they needed her to fill that void. And she up there dancing and shaking a tail feather. You know? And I'm so excited. Definitely excited about that. Cool. So really quick, we're going to go into a quick commercial plug, everyone. We are AfterBuzz. We definitely still here at the AfterBuzz studio. I'm your host, Brookshire. Definitely make sure that you're tuning in to all of our shows. Make sure you're commenting also. This is OWN. Make sure you are commenting. We love that you are definitely clicking and downloading on iTunes. We appreciate that. But make sure that you are leaving your comments, because we want to hear it. It matters to us what you think, because I know sometimes not everyone can call in, but you can definitely leave a note saying what you think about the show. So make sure you do that as well. Also, make sure you hit us up on all of our after shows or our recaps on Love923.com. That's LOV923.com. That's LOV923.com. And also for any of your cable services, internet services, cell phone services, when you go on that site on the radio station, you can actually click on some of the services to the bottom, some of the ads, and you will be able to get what you want with 15 to 80% discounts. It's really an amazing thing. If you're getting new services, go there and check it out for sure. And then also check out hard8.com. Definitely hard8clothing.com. Victor, it's a clothing line that's made here in the U.S., Los Angeles, manufactured, and it's definitely the clothing line that the artists wear. So if you're creative and you're youthful, you're young, you're the music, it's the clothing line for the music. It's the clothing line for the music industry. So definitely check out hard8.com right here in Los Angeles, California. Now, we're going to be taking you straight back into what we know a little bit more, talking about the book and just your experience and what you with Tony Robbins. I know you haven't necessarily met him directly, but you have had some roundabout ways of experiencing him. What is your personal opinion, before we wrap up some things, about what he's brung to you from the teachings that you've learned?
I feel like Tony Robbins is kind of like the bar. I feel like he's the bar in the personal development world. It totally makes sense to me that Oprah did a master's class with him. Right. Like, I was like, finally, like, I can't even believe it took this long. Right.
Yes, definitely.
So that, right?
He's been on the scene a minute. Took you 25 years to get him on? Are you kidding me?
So yeah, I was actually really happy to see that.
I was too.
And honestly, I just feel like, he's amazing. There's actually one guy that I follow. His name is Brendon Burchard. And I literally follow him in like how to build my business. And he was inspired by Tony Robbins. When he was like sitting on his room, like on his bed in his like college dorm, just like, why do I feel like life is empty? Boom, Tony Robbins. I think it was an audiobook too. I think he saw him on TV and he ordered an audiobook. And then it just like sparked
coached him, right.
Dude, he is like banging in every way possible. He now is like the model for all the personal development gurus of how to market their stuff online. He's like kind of like a marketing genius type guy. Again? Brendon Burchard. You can look him up at expertsacademy.com.
Expertsacademy.com. Awesome.
Seriously amazing. And Tony Robbins sparked his career. Like, that's who Tony Robbins is. You know what I mean? Like, he sparks the ones who spark the ones who spark the ones who spark.
Right, right.
So he's just amazing. And I've definitely, like, there's been times where I've been at work, like YouTubing Tony Robbins, and then I'll like watch his stuff, and then I'll send it to my boss and be like, this is an amazing thing on leadership. Like, he's just amazing. I
wanted to tell you guys something that I thought was real unfortunate, but it's good as far as Tony goes. Okay. There was a show that was on NBC, I believe it was NBC, and they canceled it after just 2 episodes, and it was a fantastic show with Tony Robbins. I'm not sure if you guys were both familiar with it.
I didn't know.
And that's I guess what I'm saying is it's sad as far as television that we only like the dramatic, crazy, wild shows, but it was a really good show.
True.
I watched it with my
How long
aunt.
Ago was this?
This was last year, about maybe a year and a half ago. It was on NBC, about 2 to 3 episodes. It changed a lot of people's lives, got people jobs.
Pick it up.
That's what I'm saying.
She need content. She gonna pick it up, and that's probably why she had him on.
Thank you.
Changing her life, because she sat in that seminar with him for almost 10, 12 hours before she did the fire walk. You know, and got pumped up and was listening. It was just like, I saw her on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and she was just like, her expressions of like, whoa, like what they do in there. Like you really believe you can run through that wall if you needed to, and you wouldn't get hurt. And it's really that neurolinguistic programming.
Totally.
When you program a person and you put the right information in the right language in their around them, it makes a big difference. I know in one of my previous shows, I was talking about an audio book called Words That Work, and they did a test on there where they wrote on a sheet of paper a bunch of negative words and they passed it out to an audience of maybe 30 or 40 people, and immediately when the 2 assignments, they said, you read the words and I need you to think about the words in your head and form a sentence with them. And so immediately the room got very ugly. It got very ugly. And it was just like, man, I thought this was like a good seminar. Why are you giving us all these? I hope the positive words come. And then eventually, as soon as the positive words came and they had to do the same exercise, the morale was lifted even higher than it was before the seminar even started, because now they have been programmed with different. They understood a little bit more. They've been opened up in the difference of what doesn't work. Now they understand the words words that do work. Right. And it changed their whole programming towards life in general. And ours, the words that we say, the things that we say, the things that we do make a difference. They're like bullets that shoot into the universe. And another book that was so great that Oprah highlighted was, by A Stroke of Insight. Where the lady had a stroke, and in her stroke moment, she was actually a doctor that worked on stroke patients, so she ended up having one, so she was able to understand her process.
I think I've seen this. She's blonde.
Joe Bolte, tell her she has gray hair.
Okay.
But she feels like, she lost her old self. She lost the ego. She lost all that when she basically had that stroke to that side of her brain that didn't work anymore. And she was all creativity. And she looked at herself like a bunch of atoms that work congruently with the rest of the universe. And as she put things in the universe, it will work and bend to her need because she believes that it would. And it just opened her up to a fresh perspective and a fresh insight. And, it's just all about what we take in that really makes a difference. It's all about what we takes in that really makes a difference. So really quick, everybody, we're going to go straight into an AfterBuzz TV plug commercial. I'm your host, Brookshire, here with Miss Shereen, my co-host, doing it always big, and his house. We are here, AfterBuzz TV OWN. We'll be back in 1 second, everybody.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
For the month or something?
What's happening, everybody? We are so back in the house, and this is OWN, the Oprah Recap, where we are here to make sure that we live our best life. And today we're introducing our audio book club. So this is Brookshire's audio book club, totally inspired by my mentor, Miss Oprah Winfrey, with the book club. We want to let you know that faith does come by hearing. And so in this fast-paced society, we want to make sure that we're able to be hooked up to all the technology that goes with you. And so the audiobooks, because everybody's always listening, our ears never cut off, but we do shut our eyes. So therefore, when our ears cut off and our eyes, when our eyes shut down and our ears stay open, we can be getting the information in that will change our lives and the lives around us. So what we want to do is go into what we know for sure. But before we go into what we know for sure, I just want to say a couple things too, just to add a couple key facts with Tony Robbins before we end, we go around with it being such an amazing offer. Of course, he has tons of best-selling books that we will get into, definitely Giant Steps, Shape Your Destiny. So he's really all about empowering your life and giving you the tools that you need to know. Just a little history about him in general was that, young man decided he wanted to do things. Him and his parents decided to do things their own way. And when he was a teenager, he ended up going off on his own. He had heard an audio seminar, or went to this particular seminar to where he was informed on a different way of thinking. From that particular point, he started really looking into changing his life and figuring out what he could do to move to the next level in life. And so he said, let me educate myself. He went out to the libraries and he educated himself on everything that he could. And this is one thing that I always say to people about education. Remember, your mind is one of the most important things that we have. So you want to make sure that you educate that. So he also studied under Richard Bandler and also Dr. Grander when it came to NLP, the actual people that created it. So his skill level on understanding it is amazing. So make sure that y'all are reading this book, everyone. Make sure that you are tuning in and you are down with unlimited power. You can go to your Barnes & Nobles. You can go on the website, barnesandnobles.com, and make sure that you're getting this so we can read along together and we can talk about it. So really quick, we're going to go straight in before we close the show to what I know for sure. And what I know for sure is, Miss Shereen, what do you know for sure, actually?
What do I know for sure?
About unlimited powers.
About unlimited power.
Yes.
What I know for sure is that, you know, like we are energy, just like the atoms and all the fun stuff we've been talking about this whole time. And so essentially I want to, like, you know, when you get yourself vibrating like quickly, fast, and like amazing, like you'll have that feeling that Oprah had where she was like, I could walk on the, you know, that kind of a thing.
Anything.
Yes. And so I would say what I know for sure is that you need to do like maintenance and like checkups and tune-ups on your mind the same way you do on your car.
That's right.
In order to keep yourself vibrating at a high level.
High level.
Yeah.
Yes, and I agree with that. And what I know for sure is that faith does come by hearing people. You want to make sure that whatever you are looking to do, no matter what it is, you want to be an actor, model, singer, dancer, a mom, a husband, a wife, a better friend, go educate yourself on that. Go get those words. And right now I'll say go get some audiobooks inside of you. Go get some verbal education on the right way and watch how it would make a difference in your life. And that, everybody, is what we know for sure. Now listen, everyone, again, we love you. We love you. Make sure that you're tuning in every week. We'll be right back here, of course, on the YNR recaps at 3:15, and definitely on the OWN Oprah recaps at 4:15 live every week. Remember, next week we have a special guest in the house, so stay tuned. Kaya Redford, that was going to be breaking down a lot of NLP, a lot of ways to think, and he will, you know, questions that you may have, so make sure you tune into that. We are so, you know, loving you. Make sure you leave your comments. And we just want to say to you, where the mind goes, the body will follow. You have to remember that you are someone. Thank you so much, Miss Shereen, for coming back in the crib and in the house and bringing us some more information with us. I know you're going to be going out and getting more, so we definitely look forward to everything that you bring. Ronnie, we're going to leave it just as a singular name. We appreciate you, brother. You already checked me earlier, so you ain't going to have to do it again.
I was just saying I'm not a DJ. I'm just in the board. You call me Ronnie Jr. It's okay, brother.
It's okay.
We got you, brother. And everybody, remember, you are somebody. You are someone, and you were put here for a reason.
True.
Act like it. Act like it, and go out and find who you're supposed to be. And if you're already there, just express it, love it, and do it even more. Times 10. Again, I'm your host, Brookshire. This is another edition of OWN, the Oprah Recap Show. All about introducing you to our audio book club. So we look forward to hearing you and reading along with you at the end of the month. Stay tuned. This is your host, Brookshire. Peace.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.